Joshiebear plays Minecraft.
What is going on, everyone? It's Joshiebear, and we are playing the Minecraft. We are still here in the Nether, and as you can see behind me, I've done a thing. So, our wither skeleton farm is actually completed. Let me flip around here just real quick. Yes, we have been hard at work trying to get this thing done, but there's one thing you might notice. Not a lot of wither skeletons in here, is there? Well, we've got some work yet to do in order to get this thing at least somewhat efficient. And that is more spawn proofing. Now, I know we've spent a lot of time working on spawn proofing some of the outer area around this, but it doesn't really do a lot for our wither skeleton spawns. That is more about spawn proofing the Nether Fortresses in the area. And as you know, we actually are in part of a large one that goes all the way over there. And there is one on the other side of a lava lake over here that is actually pretty large itself. And I think a lot of it may still be in range to allow the wither skeletons to spawn out there. So it's kind of hurting our farm at this point. But I've got a plan for that. But that's going to take us to today's project. Because I need nether brick slabs, and there's two ways that we can go about getting nether brick slabs. One, we could run over there and tear down one of the fortresses to slab over the other. Or two, we could take all the netherrack that we're collecting from the ancient debris mining that we've been doing and smelt it down into nether bricks, make the blocks, and make the slabs. I like option number two. But the problem is I don't have a quick way of smelting all of that netherrack to where it's not going to waste a bunch of time waiting around smelting netherrack into nether bricks. So today we're going to go back to the overworld, and you're going to follow me because we're going to do something we should have done a long time ago, to be quite honest. I'll admit, it feels like it's been forever since we've started a new project in our world. For you, it's probably maybe a week or two in between, but for me, it's been about a month and a half of grinding and playing just to get the last couple episodes out. The first project today isn't going to be the most exciting project. Believe me, it's not that exciting. But we're also going to try to start a second project that's going to get us access to all the tools and weapons that we're going to need to get us that one step closer to fighting the Ender Dragon and opening our world to every possibility. I would also like to encourage you to not have your own independent thoughts and do what you feel is what you want to do, and do what I say and hit the subscribe button because I said so. No, I don't really mean that. Although, I kind of do. Be sure if you're coming and watching the videos that you're leaving me a like. And if you really like what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button. Figured I'd do all that stuff early so that way if you've clicked off the video by now, at least I had a chance of asking you to like and subscribe the video. So our mining area hasn't been one of the highlights of our world. I promise you it's heavily used, but it's boring to watch me mine. But there's one part of this that we've actually used quite a few times in this series that we okay, it's there. We'll use it. Don't feel like fixing it right now. But it was our smelter array, if you will, which was really just 5 furnaces with some hoppers and chests attached to it. It worked well for the purposes that we were using it for. But I need a lot of nether brick, and I need a lot of it fast. So it's time for us to upgrade. And I'm going to turn around, and you're going to see what we're going to be working with here. So yeah, that used to be 5 furnaces. Now it is a big, wide open space here in the middle of our mining area, actually cutting into the ravine that's over here. That houses our abandoned mine shaft. And this is where we're going to be putting our new super smelter and loading and unloading system. I've dug out way more space than I need.
only because I haven't quite figured out how I want to lay it out yet. I know how I want to build it and how I want it to work, but I gave myself enough space to be able to play around and do multiple directions if need be. But this is what we're going to be doing. This is the area we're going to be working with, and I guess the only thing we have left to do is just to start building this thing, see how it turns out. Well, I think I've decided how I want to lay everything out. We've got our line of furnaces. I only have 12 in there. I think that's going to be good for now, but there's plenty of space back here to where if I wanted to put in like a second row of furnaces or even, just do a whole independent one of this one on this side and just have two sets of inputs and outputs, I think that would work okay. I mean, we'll find out. And now that I've gathered a little bit more confidence to talk about my latest project, just a quick walkthrough. I think the concept of what we're doing here is pretty self-explanatory. You've probably seen this type of smelter or furnace array hundreds of times and probably much more fancy. And we have a visitor. Hi, friend. I think you're lost. Yeah, so like many designs out there, we're going to use hopper minecarts to just kind of run back and forth. This side will actually have a loading station for the minecarts, so that way we can just feed our fuel and our smeltable items into these two chests here and let everything else do the work for us. Now, I know that there are some other circuits that you can place in here to ensure that everything gets distributed evenly. That's not really my concern. My concern is efficiency here. And yes, there's an argument that said, well, if you fill it all as evenly as possible, I'm not worried about being crowned the king of smelter arrays. I need fast items, and I think this is going to do the trick for us. So I'm going to start to put in a little bit of the circuitry and come back with a little bit of a progress update. Why are you here? So we've got the bulk of the machinery in place. My little loading stations are wired up, and my drop rail elevators are also ready to go. See, we're just kind of using a comparator with some observer clocks to run everything up. Not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. I think the most expensive part of this is really all the hoppers that I'm using. But there is one thing that I'm worried about, and I do believe it's going to be not only here with this hopper being powered, but I also have an issue with, and I don't know if I can get over that way. I'm going to have to go all the way around. This is why you build accessible machinery. But we also have an issue here where this redstone actually powers both sides. So I had to move this one back one block. But the problem is when this gets powered and unpowered, this rail here, oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. Where are these mobs coming from? That's what you get for interrupting my explanation. Yeah, so anyway, problem I have is this redstone here powering this rail here. And when it unpowers and powers, it will make it change direction. So what I wanted to do was kind of run a little test here. So I've got this minecart. It's just going to run back and forth. Just to let me know, okay, everything's working. And then I'm going to feed some items into that side, which is the smelter side, or the, I guess the item side. So I just got the stone. We'll just throw the stone in there. And yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. So we're going to have to rethink how we're powering all of this, because it's not going to work if that train track is just going to send my train, my minecart off into the depths below. This should have been an easy project for me. I took a lot of time
to plan everything out and make sure that it was working at least from a surface level. And when you only plan to that part, well, things go wrong once you actually try to use it in a real world application. And now I'm rebuilding the mechanism that drives the entire system of automation, because my loader-unloader doesn't work the way that I need it to work. But that's why this is a community, because there are so many people out there with much better ideas on how to get the things that you or I or anyone want to do in their world working relatively easily. Well, you can probably notice that I got a little busy, and I made a few changes to our smelting system down here. The whole loading and unloading system just wasn't working out the way that I had hoped it would work, because I found that even if like our minecart was full and there were things in the hopper up here, it wouldn't move because the signal was saying, "Hey, let the cart load." So it wouldn't actually fill anything. So I'd have to like flip everything on manually. So I did some searching, because there are people that have figured this out in a much more elegant ways and simpler ways. And I did find I guess it's a smart minecart loader and unloader. It's by Animus J. I will link to that video in the description below. But it's such a simple way to look at it. And if I can get around here, just kind of show you how this really works. Basically, what it does is it uses a detector rail and a piston to hold the cart in place. And what you do is you put a hopper in behind a second comparator here. And there's nothing in the hopper now, but you put, you fill all the slots. So you could use a whole stack of stone here. And what that would do is, once this minecart with a hopper had one full stack of items in it, it would trigger the piston to release and allow the minecart to travel and go along the track. If there's less than that in the minecart hopper, it will detect that here with the detector rail, and it will shut the door or open up the piston and stop your minecart from moving. And I thought that was a really nice way to do it. The only downside is that you're going to have items stuck in your minecart. So I actually put together a crude little bypass switch here that uses observers, redstone blocks, and sticky pistons using that one tick pulse. So if I show you here, we get that note block, and it overrides that whole detection system. So now my minecarts can just flow freely, and then I can always just shut them off whenever I need to. So I thought that would be a good way, especially if we're going to be smelting a lot of items. And I only put, let's say I fill that hopper all the way up. That's always going to have a full inventory. So I can just hit that override and let it run. Or I can use this as a shutoff switch, and it would shut down the entire system. So that way they're not always running. And then, I added a whole nother row of furnaces here, which I thought would be a good thing to do to speed everything up. And we actually have room here. We want to run more rows depending on how many items we're going to smelt. I don't know that we're going to be smelting that much to where we're going to have multiple rows coming in this way. But I thought, 2 rows of 12, 24 furnaces, that should be more than enough to do the job that we need to do. So let's just, I guess this is the first test since I put in this whole new system. And you notice it takes up just a little bit less space that way, but it does come out a little bit this way. So we'll have to put some kind of facade on here just to clean it up a little bit. But let's go ahead and, actually, we need to put some items in our hoppers back there. Let me grab some random items to throw in there, and then we'll go ahead and test this out.
All right, so I've got some items, and actually I've just put wooden hose in in these hoppers back here because it will be the same as having a stack of items in there. So let's just let's just give it a shot. Let's see what happens here. I'm going to throw 5 stacks of stone in here. We'll throw in the blocks of coal. Just kind of take a look at how that works, and everything looks like it's moving in there. I guess we can run up here real quick and just... Yeah, everything's loading in there. It's not loading as fast as I would like it to. It's supposed to load just a little bit faster because that minecart will go up into the hopper, but it doesn't seem to be working that way, which is okay. I can live with that. Let's see here. What happened to my minecart here? Oh, there it is. Ah, I think it must have already had a stack of items in it. Yeah. And it went off and it already filled everything. Wow, that was quick. All right, so that one loaded quick. Let's see here. Just kind of wait for it to get on its way. Because I would love to see how fast 24 furnaces is actually going to smelt 5 stacks of items. All right, and there it goes all the way around. It looks like everything has been loaded with something. There's 2 furnaces that we can't see back here because I put this stuff in here, but it looks like, yeah, it looks like everything's in there. Everything's in there evenly. Somewhat evenly. All right, it's still loading things in there. And I guess we could just go like that and just let everything unload too. But let's kind of look at... Yeah, look at that. We've already got a whole stack. and then some of items. So I think adding the extra furnaces was a good move. And now we don't really have to worry about, things not running or getting stuck because there's too many items or not enough items. I am ready to take on the project of smelting a bunch of stuff so I can slab up a Nether Fortress. I am ready for that project. Bring it on! Yeah, so I definitely spent some time slabbing over the Nether Fortresses. I mean, I had the materials. I might as well just gone and done some more work, but I'm not going to show you that. If you've made it this far in the video, you didn't stick around just to watch me slab over a Nether Fortress. So, in order to fill more time, why don't we just start another project? That seems like a good idea, right? Let's talk about what's coming next. Because we got the super smelter pretty much done. I mean, there's really just cosmetic things to do there. And that will allow us to get... What is... Oh, I had a beacon down there. I was like, what is this hole? All right, all distractions aside, it's time to get started on the next project. And this next project really gets us closer to the goal of getting to the end and fighting the Ender Dragon. And it might not seem like the kind of project that would get us there. I mean, we found the stronghold. We've got ourselves a portal in our Nether hub on the roof. Let's go fight the Ender Dragon, right? Wrong. I want to make sure that we have the gear to fight the Ender Dragon. And if we die, still have the gear to fight the Ender Dragon. And there's 2 ways to go about that. One would be to grind for diamonds in the mine, and then grind at the skeleton farm to get levels and enchant. Or we can come visit our friends here. Be like, hey. Okay, I guess he doesn't want to help. Let's go to these friends over here. And this is something we've already done a little bit in this Let's Play world, but I think it's time to give these guys an official home. And when I say official home, I really mean let's give them a place where they will stand in one spot for the rest of eternity and every now and then get attacked by a zombie, only to have me save them from their life as a zombie. What am I talking about? Villager Trading Hall. That's right. It's time for us to get a villager trading hall together, and I think I know how I want to do it. I've worked it out a little bit in a creative world, and I've got to say, the whole zombie mechanism that's been a little tough for me to wrap my head around. But I think I've got a way to do it. It's not going to be the most efficient way to do it, but we'll be able to get our villagers in there. We'll zombify them. We'll cure them. Get those prices down. And be able to get all of the weapons and armor that we're going to need to fight the Ender Dragon. That is right. But first, I'm going to sleep. So I've totally neglected to introduce you to our newest pet. I've had this dog now for probably 3 episodes, maybe 4 episodes. And I haven't mentioned it once. It's just been sitting here like, hey, what's going on, guys? So this is my new dog. It does not have a name, just like the nameless cat that no longer exists. That's right. Our nameless cat that just sat there by our bed. It was murdered viciously by a spitting llama. That's right. The wandering trader just kind of wandered in here like, oh, hey guys, what's going on? I'm a wandering trader, and I murdered him. So the llama spit at me, and I kind of got out of the way, and then it spit and hit the cat and killed the cat. So no more than nameless cat, but we now have a nameless dog, and it has a green collar. Because why not have a green collar? Yes, Artemis also now has a green collar. It matches his eyes. So I had a brief thought about doing this out here in this big open area. But then I thought about it. I was like, well, that may not be the best spot because I've got some other plans for this area. So then I thought about what would be the easiest area to set this up, get the villagers transported to where they need to go. And then I remembered I have all this land over here that I haven't done anything with. And I think I've picked my spot. It's actually pretty close to where we had our little pop-up trading stands, which have dwindled down, as you can see, over time. But I cleared out some area back here, and I think this is where our new villager trading hall is going to go. It's far enough away from everything else that it shouldn't affect like our iron farm or our farmers or anything over there. It shouldn't interfere with the village because it's far enough away now. And it's still not a massive trek across the countryside to get there. So this is it. I've started to lay out some of the groundwork for this. I don't think that I'm going to be using these as like the cosmetic material for this trading hall, but this at least gives me an idea of where my villagers are going to be and where my workstations are going to be. I haven't quite decided how many villagers I want to put in here. The way that I have it set up now is I could have like 48, I do believe. I think the number was 48, but we have 16 across here. We would have 16 that way and 16 that way. I don't know that I need that many because I think I'm only going to go with like 5 or 6 different professions. And I think the 6th one I added was the stonemasons, only because I had so much space. Now, I may start small and work my way up there, depending on how many villagers I have in there. But I think this is going to be a good start. We are definitely going to have weaponsmiths, armorers. We are definitely going to have librarians. And I'm actually going to put in a few clerics so that way we can trade some of the rotten flesh that we're getting for some goodies from them. Hopefully some nice potions. Maybe that would be awesome. I'm also leaving a space in behind it so I can have what I am calling, wait for it, discount zombies. That's right. I have 4 of them in here name tagged and ready to go. I don't know that I'm going to need 4. I've got an extra one just in case. Now, I know there's some fancy ways to go about the whole zombification, but really, I'm just going to have like a walkway for them to walk up and down here. And when I want to zombify my villagers, just open up a trapdoor in behind them and let the zombies go to town on them. And then brew up some potions of weakness, get some golden apples, and feed them up. And discount, discount, discount. So I thought we were going to have enough time in this episode to actually get this started and get the at least the parts in place, but we are out of time. It's hard to believe. Time goes by pretty fast when you're messing up super smelters. But that's going to do it for us this episode. Next episode, we're going to start to get everything in place for the villager trading hall, and maybe even start moving some villagers in there, and get ourselves that one step closer to fighting the Ender Dragon, and then doing whatever we want and flying around the world, and yeah, those kind of things. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I certainly enjoyed making it. It's good to be back and making content again. Trust me, I missed it dearly. Of course, if you missed me dearly, or if you just stumbled upon this for the first time and you liked it, hit that like button. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. You'll thank yourself later for investing that 2 seconds of time in clicking a button. I guarantee it. And because I can't find something incredible to say, we're just going to end it here. I'm Joshiebear. Thanks for watching. See you next time. I'm out of here.